What we're learning now from Reuters, the international news agency, is that Chinese President Xi Jinping is likely to skip the G20 leaders summit in New Delhi next week. Sources familiar with the matter are telling Reuters that two Indian officials, Reuters claims, one diplomat who's based in Chennai, in China, and one official who's working for the government of another G20 country, said Premier Li Qiang is expected to represent Beijing at the September 9-10 meeting in New Delhi. Spokespersons, this is all Reuters, spokespersons for the Indian and Chinese foreign ministries did not respond to requests for comments. So it is now being reported by international news agency Reuters that Chinese President Xi Jinping is likely to skip the September 9-10 G20 leaders summit in New Delhi. It was highly anticipated, his arrival at this very crucial meeting. Remember, just a few days ago, he and the Prime Minister, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a pull-aside at the 15th BRICS summit in Johannesburg in South Africa, where the Prime Minister again raised the boundary issue and categorically stated that for a thaw in relations, China will have to respect the boundary. And then, of course, you saw a standard map being released by China, which showed Arunachal Aksai as part of China. India registered and launched a strong protest against it as well, and politics has been brewing over it, especially with Rahul Gandhi questioning the centre over it. But now, news coming in that it's a possibility that Chinese President Xi Jinping could skip the summit of G20 leaders in India next week. My colleague Abhishek Bhalla is now joining me live on this. Abhishek, international news agency Reuters, they're reporting that there's a possibility that Chinese President Xi Jinping could in fact skip the G20 leaders summit. How do you read this?
Well, a lot of speculation in the run-up to the G20 summit in New Delhi next week, following whether Xi Jinping will be here or not. Still no confirmation from New Delhi on this, but Reuters has reported that it's likely that Xi Jinping will not be attending the summit. Now, remember just a few days back, the two leaders, Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, had met on the sidelines of the BRICS summit, and it seemed as if, there was some kind of thaw between the two, and there were statements from both sides. And just then, we had a statement from Beijing saying that this meeting was in fact at the behest of India, suggesting that it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who wanted to reach out to Xi Jinping. That suggested that there is somewhere that one-upmanship that China wants to reflect, and if he doesn't come here once again, not sure where the relations between the two countries are headed, especially in wake of the tensions and the military tussle that's still ongoing in eastern Ladakh for the last 2.5 years.
What sort of a signal is China sending out with this?
Well, it seems that China wants to maintain that one-upmanship. If at all Xi Jinping does not come, there is a lot of talk that he might send his number two. Still no confirmation, as I said, from the Indian side. But the kind of rocky relationship that India and China have had for the last 2.5 years since the military tensions escalated in Ladakh, which was followed by 19 rounds of high-level military commanders talks, several rounds of diplomatic talks. In between, you had, the ministers meeting in several international events. But there has been no breakthrough as far as the problem in eastern Ladakh is concerned.
Abhishek, thank you for joining us. So that is what an international news agency is reporting. We don't have an official confirmation yet about Chinese President Xi Jinping's attendance at the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi next week.